What would you tell your younger self? I decided to ask myself that question. One of the questions that I tend to hear people ask a lot is, what would you tell your younger self? So I decided to ask myself that question. I asked myself that the other day when I was doing the dishes, like, what would I tell my younger self? Like, if I could tell my younger self one thing, what would it be? What came out actually surprised me because I thought it would be like, well, don't worry so much. Everything's going to be okay and everything's working out in your favor. You don't have to worry about anything. While that's true, that was not the thing that came up. What came up for me, and I wrote down part of it. What I said was, I would tell myself to stay present, to stay focused, and be where you are and gain everything that you can. With that, there is an element of understanding that everything will be okay and everything is working out in my favor. That is the foundational belief that would lead to this. But beyond understanding that, being where your feet are planted and understanding that although it may not be where I want to be, although it may not be the ideal situation, things may be going on around me that I wish were different. Or it can be where you're in a place or in a position that you don't even know why you're there. This brought me back to law school because between college and me going to law school, I took a year off. Okay, I needed a break from school. And two, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I took that year and I just prayed on it and just saw where I was being led. And it ended up being law school. I thought I was going to be going to school for psychology. But what I ended up being led to, or where I ended up being led to, was law school. So I went to law school, but the entire time I was there, I was questioning why I was there. I was trying to put the dots together. I was trying to make them connect, trying to make sense out of the situation. I have made this big step. I have taken out some loans to be able to pay for it, and it was making me uncomfortable when people were asking me, okay, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do with that? What are you going to do when you graduate? What are you going to do? And I couldn't answer these questions. I'm like, y'all, I know just as much as you do. God led me here, but I have no idea why. And it sounded crazy to me. So I wanted so badly to know and to be able to say something, to be able to give them some type of something to hold on to so that I'm not looking crazy. I'm not looking like I'm just here and I have no idea why I'm filling this seat. The entire time that I was there, I was grabbing for things. Like, okay, well, maybe, I do like criminal shows. Maybe I'm supposed to be some big shot criminal lawyer. Ooh, but I do like business, so maybe it's corporate law. Or maybe it's this. Whatever I was thinking, it had to be with law because I was going to law school. So why in the world would God lead me to law school if I was not going to practice? That just doesn't make sense. Why would I be doing this? Can you imagine that? The entire time that you're going to school and or at least you've heard how difficult law school can be. While you're under that strenuous activity, you're sitting here, your mind is going a mile a minute trying to figure out why you're here. Yeah. Needless to say, there were a lot of opportunities that I could have taken advantage of. There were things that I could have engaged in that I didn't engage in because it didn't make sense to me. Because I couldn't figure out this part, it held me back, or I allowed it. It didn't hold me back. I allowed it to hold me back from being all in my decision and being fully present and being fully there and just saying, look, here I am. I'm going to do my best here and I'm going to soak up all the knowledge that I possibly can, and I'm going to do the best that I possibly can, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to dibble and dabble in this, and whatever piques my interest, I'm going to do because I'm here. Why not? Instead, I would see things that I wanted to get involved in, but because I wasn't sure the path, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I graduated, I was too afraid to get involved in those things in fear of wasting time. Wasting that fear of wasting time has held me back from a lot. So that is another thing that I would say. But that's all in this. There is no waste of time. In fact, it very well could be the fact that I wasted time there not engaging in the things that I actually wanted to do, or I felt called to do, or I wanted to explore. Because in doing those things, whether or not I was going to practically use them when I graduated, or if I was going into that field or not, there were things that I could have gained through going through it, through doing it. I don't know if I could have met somebody. I don't know if it was a piece of knowledge that I could have helped me in where it is that I am going and where I'm going to be. Who knows? You don't know those things. So just trying to connect the dots before you engage in something, or before you really decide whether you're going to give your all, you are holding yourself back from beautiful things that you could be experiencing, even if it's just for the sake of having fun, and you don't have anything practical to apply. It doesn't matter. I guess that also goes with a level of trusting yourself, trusting that you know what it is that you want, trusting that, oh, I have a desire to do X because I'm being led to do it. I have this interest in this because I have an interest in it, not because it has to feed something else, not because it has to look good on paper, not because it has to connect to the thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Not because of anything, not because it makes sense to somebody else or even makes sense to you. Just trusting yourself that you know best, that God is communicating to you through you, and He and you are both on one accord, and you guys know best. Your conscious mind does not have to comprehend why it is that you're doing what you're doing, or the reasoning behind what it is that you're doing, or where it's going to connect. You don't need to know all of that. You don't need to know all the details. What you've got to just do, and that's a part of letting go, is understanding that, hey, I'm just going to allow myself to be guided. I'm going to listen to where it is that I feel led. I'm going to honor myself in following where it is that I feel led to go. And I'm going to trust that I'm hearing correctly. And if for some reason I am not hearing correctly, I'm going to trust that I'm going to know when to change directions. I'm going to trust God enough that He's going to tap me on the shoulder, and He's going to make it known that I need to do something different. That, wait a minute, wait. I actually said a left and you made a right, Christina. You need to change directions. I'm going to trust that God is going to do that. He's not going to keep letting me go astray when I have made it clear that I want to follow your direction. I want to be led. I want to let go. I want to listen. That's the only thing that is our job. And that's what I want. And to make it very clear today to you, to me, to my younger self, to my kids that may watch this, I want to make it clear to you that you don't have to know all the answers, but you know who does know all the answers. God knows all the answers. Your spirit knows all the answers. God lives in you. He is communicating to you through you. So all you have to do is just listen. That is it. Your job is easy. All you have to do is just, hey, I'm ready. I want to listen. I want to be guided. I want to hear you. I want to follow you. And then you sit back and you listen and you wait. And then when you get guided direction, when you have that inspired action, you take that action. You take that step, even if it doesn't make sense. And then when you take that step, you don't take that step and do like I did, of where I take that step and then I'm worried about what is going to happen, how this is going to work. Oh my goodness, what if this doesn't work out? What if I did make a mistake? You don't think about all those things. You think about, okay, this was the next step that I was supposed to be taking. I took that action, and now what do? I sit and I wait. I do the best that I can possibly do where I am, and I do not move until I get direction to move further. And then once you get that direction, you take that next step. And then while you're there, you are present, you are focused, you work, and you absorb everything that you're supposed to be absorbing. And then you take the next step. That's how we can live in a state of peace. That's how we can live in a state of understanding that we are fully supported. We're fully taken care of. There is nothing that can come your way that you are not going to be prepared for. There is nothing that can come your way that you are going to get knocked off your guard. There is nothing that can come your way that you do not have the capacity to overcome. You have everything that you need right here inside of you. So often we look outside of ourselves for something that we already have. You have everything that you need. So all you have to do is focus on where you are. Look down, see where your feet are planted, and focus on where you are right here, right now, right in this moment. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about next week. Don't think about next month. You focus on where it is that you are right now and what you're supposed to be doing in this moment. How can you show up the best that you can possibly show up in this moment? That's it. That's all you have, really. Everything else that you're worried about is a figment of your imagination, because you don't even know whether you're going to, sorry to be dismal, but it's really not. You know, we claim that we want to be so realistic. Well, let me be realistic for you. You don't know whether you're going to last past this second. So you worrying about tomorrow, you worrying about next month, next year, 10 years from now is futile. For what? You're doing it in vain because you don't know. You have no idea what can happen in an instant at any time. And so we've covered the negative. So let me flip the script and let me tell you about the positive. In the same vein that you don't know on this side, on the negative side, what can possibly happen, you also don't know on the positive side what could possibly happen. So you may be in a place where you're worried about, oh my gosh, I got bills to pay. Oh my goodness, I want to be debt free this year. How in the world is that going to happen? How am I going to make that happen? First of all, you don't have to make anything happen. Second of all, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is be in this moment and listen up for your next action steps. That's it. And hold on to the belief that it is going to happen. Hold on to the belief that, hey, I spoke the word, God heard me, and I am now being guided to that. Because just like I said, you have no idea what could happen. You can be worried about that thing today. You can be like, oh my gosh, next month I have this payment that I'm supposed to be making, and I don't know how in the world this is going to happen, and this, that, and the other, and it's distracting you from what it is that you're supposed to be doing right now. When, fast forward to next month, when that thing is due, you could have the money. Fast forward to the next day, tomorrow, you could have that money, and you just spent a whole day, a whole hour, a whole 30 minutes, whatever it is, worrying about something that was already taken care of. So how is that for wasting time? We claim we don't have time to waste, but yet we spend so much time wasting time. Does that make sense? It doesn't. Instead of focusing on the time that you do not have to waste, be where you are and take advantage of the time that you have right here in front of you, because all you have is right here in front of you. That's what I would tell my younger self. And this is what I would tell my kids. This is what I'll be telling my kids. This is why I'm doing this, so this can be left for my kids. So long after I'm gone, they can still play this and be like, oh yeah, mom did used to say that. I do need to be where my feet are planted. Yeah, I'm reminding you. And I wanted to remind you too, as well. No, you may not be my kids. No, you may not be my family. And no, you're definitely not my younger self. But if I could have benefited from it, if I would have been told that, and if I would have really grasped that, then I felt that it was necessary for me to share to you. Because no matter where you are in your journey, this is something that can be applied. So take it and use it, okay? Look down at your feet, see where you are, and be where you are. Keep going. You got this. See you next time.